Hello and welcome to Cranky Gamers UK, the show where we take your normal everyday gamer, oil them up, and toss them into our unique grapple pit. This week on the show, it's just me and Toz. So, Toz, how are you, my man?
Fine, my old mate. Back again for yet another week's craziness.
Yes, more craziness, and I've got to get this out of the way. Derby County lost today, didn't they?
Again, we're going down already. 2 weeks into the season. It's such entertainment.
Well, I'm not going to say a word, seeing as Nottingham Forest lost to Leeds today. Alright, for American listeners, don't worry, it's only soccer. And that's the only time you're going to hear me use that bloody word. Alright, let's move on to what we've been playing this week. Toz, what have you been playing this week?
Right then, this is going to take up a pretty big section, I think, but you're going to be amazed at what I've done this week. First of all, I'll leave the best till the last, but earlier this week I actually, my wife to thank for coming home one afternoon and telling me she'd spotted something in the local second-hand shop that I might be interested in. So off I popped up the road, money in hand, to have a look, and could not believe my eyes. Fully working Dreamcast. One controller, memory card, 2 games, £12.50.
Oh, then what games did you get?
Yeah, came home, I'd got Sonic and Fair Fighters, and when I opened the lid of the machine, in was Tony Hawk's skateboarding, so cracks it up. And to be honest, I've always thought it for years anyway, the Dreamcast was a horrible, terrible shame that it died, and we all know why it died, because of the silly people not stopping the copying of the games easy. And I've got to say, it still is very easy to do that. I won't go any further, but I can...
Please don't. I don't want to get us in trouble with the law.
No,
because unlike the... Yeah. I don't want the Clash song, please.
So, but anyway, it's a cracking machine. We cracked Sonic up, and honestly, it's such a great graphical machine still, and plays really, really well. And I had some great time. For the past 2 days, I've played the Dreamcast until yesterday, till I got what everybody's talking about, the fantastic BioShock. And yeah, I've got to say, it's as good as everybody's been saying. It's just a stunning, great game. I'm only probably, I think I'm halfway through the, what you can call, 3rd level. The demo, although stunning as we know, doesn't do the game credit. It's an absolutely stunning game all round. Everything about the game, the gameplay, the way it looks, the atmosphere, sound is fantastic on it. Many a time already I've been sat in the dark, proper scared, sat in the corner, and I've had one brilliant gaming moment that I won't spoil for you, but I've got to say it's one of the greatest gaming moments I've ever had, and I had that this morning. But yeah.
And folks, he told me about that earlier, and it is very funny, and I can understand him not wanting to spoil the surprise there for you.
Yeah.
I've got to say though, now you've got a Dreamcast, there's one game I have to recommend for the Dreamcast, and it's a game that me and my friends spent many hours on.
And what's that?
Crazy Taxi.
Do you know what? I've already got Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi 2, in fact.
It was Crazy Taxi 1 for us, but we got a bit carried away with that game, getting increasingly stupid scores and spending about an hour and a half a go on, and that's the bit where you pick a fare up and you get time for, and we couldn't make it last 90 minutes.
Do you know what? It's a game I never got into originally, because I did have an Xbox, not an Xbox, sorry, a Dreamcast originally when they first came out, and I hated the game. I know it was one of the games at the time that everybody went mad over, and I just could not get on with that game. But I stuck it on yesterday actually, and my little girl thought it was good fun. She quite liked it, and yeah, I could see where it is not a bad little game. But yeah, I'm actually trying to get hold of Stars of Arcadia, is it? I think it's called RPG. Can't find it yet, but I'm sure I'll get it.
Well, that's where you go to your local game station and have a route round their second-hand bin. Always some good stuff in there.
I bet there is some cheap games now.
Alright, well, what have I been playing this week? Well, as you know, I've got rid of the Civilization 3 fixation, but still been playing my Rainbow Six, and for my PC, I've Age of Empires 3's taken over now, so what is it about those RTSs? I can't stop playing them.
That's another one I can never get on with as well. Not my cup of tea.
That's why he's the co-host. It'd be too boring if we all got along, eh, folks? All right. Well, As you may notice over the coming weeks, that there's going to be some changes to the show, and we're going to have some new announcements hopefully for you soon. And we've got a new feature this week, and this is the UK Top 10 chart. Luckily, we've managed to secure our hands on a lovely little website, which gives us lots of information. So we're going to do the UK Top 10, and Toz is going to chime in with his views of the games, if he's got any anyway. But knowing Toz,
I will.
He normally has. All right. At number this is multi-console, by the way. So at number 10, Shrek the Third.
Played the demo. My little girl liked it. And I must admit, I thought it was quite playable, but a lot of people scream at the movie tie-ins. But I can see where it's playable for young kids. It's not as bad a game as you might think.
Well, speaking of movie tie-ins, 4 of the top 10 are movie tie-ins. So let's move on to number 9. I've not heard of this game, so maybe Toz has. Per Pals.
No, that is a game completely alien to me. Never heard of it. So how that's in the top 10, I don't know.
Oh, the next game should probably get our friends over at the Weeds podcast very excited. It's Mario Party 8.
Yeah, I've never played a Mario Party, even though I've had the GameCube. I've come close to getting a time or two, but I've always thought them games are games where you want a lot of people playing, and single player was what I played mostly. I just couldn't see the point, but I've heard it's supposed to be very good.
Okay, moving on. Here's another movie tie-in for you. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. And I'd just like to say, a god-awful movie. What about the game?
Well, I don't know if people have actually played the demo on 360 Marketplace, but I would actually recommend go and actually download it and play it, because I did the day it was released, as I do download every demo on the 360, and I've got to say it is one of the real most fantastic looking games I've ever seen. A real cracking graphical game, and good to play as well. Interesting. I think if anybody's played the pirate games, I've played it on the DS as well. They're much of a muchness. They're running about, slashing, hacking, picking coins up, going through the levels. But the one on the 360 was very, very playable, and as I say, I'd recommend trying the demo at least.
Yeah, my friend actually has Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End for the 360, and hopefully I'll be borrowing that off him in the next couple of days so I can give you an opinion. But by the demo, I would say it's probably one of the best movie tie-in games that we've seen in a long time.
I agree. It was very, very well received. Good game.
And here's another Nintendo title for you. Again, my friend Rich has got, and I'm hopefully going to have a go on in the next couple of days. Trauma Center Second Opinion.
Ooh, I've actually played it on the DS, and it's one of the hardest games I've ever played, but great fun.
You know, it's just one of those concepts for games that really throws me, but obviously it's popular.
It's Nintendo all over, though, isn't it, doing something like that? Basically mad, crazy.
In at number 5, New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, great game on the DS again, isn't it? Not finished it yet, which is surprising, because it was one of the first games we got for the DS, and it is a stunning looking game. But I think once you've finished a Mario game, it's pretty similar, but still good.
Just a point, because I've never played I've not played this. What is it? Is it a remake of one of the original games, or is it a brand new game?
Brand new, brand spank new, with some great little features added. If you've played Mario, I'm guessing that everybody would have bought it. If you've never, seen it, or I would actually, if you've got a DS, definitely go and get hold of it. It's a beautiful looking game, and Mario up to date, new Mario, great game.
Okay, I'll take that on note. I'd just like to say that the last Mario game I played, and I think it's probably regarded as one of the best Marios, was Mario 64. My personal favourite is still Super Mario Brothers 3, but hey, that shows my age a bit. Alright, on to one of Toz's personal favourites here, if you'd listen to the Weeds podcast. Pokemon Pearl at number 4.
I enjoyed I know this might sound daft, the Pokemon Pearl, and obviously you're going to come to Diamond without a doubt in the charts, because it grieves me that there's 2 of. I once guested on the Weeds show, and it was all about Pokemon, that episode, and there was a big Pokemon fan on there, and I just cannot fathom how they can keep getting away with bringing 2 of the same game out and charging full price for both. It just astounds me, not only that they do it, but people are stupid enough to buy it.
Well, I'm not going to venture into these waters. I think Nintendo are quite happy that it works, and they're going to keep on doing it as long as it works. Okay, moving on. Number 3. Yet another movie tie-in, and it's actually a game I wouldn't mind getting hold of for the 360. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Again, the demo was quite playable. Looked nice. Looked very nice. The spell waving was good. It was quite a decent game, but I've heard not very good reports of the full game. So whether it is good, I don't know. But again, try the demo on the marketplace.
If you have a 360, that is.
If you have a 360.
Remember, Toz, this is not a 360 show. We're trying to be multi-format here. Multi-console. God knows what. Anyway, that bit's getting edited out. Alright, and as you predicted earlier, Toz, at number 2, Pokemon Diamond.
Yeah, again, they keep bringing them out. People will keep buying them. It was playable for me. I played Diamond, I think, for about 3 or 4 days. It kept me interested for that long, and then it was just the same old stuff again and again and again, and got boring very quickly.
And I have to say this week, it's an absolute shame that my good friend Dorkfish isn't with us this week. Because, like me, he is an absolutely huge Transformers fan, and number 1 in the UK charts, Transformers the game.
Well, obviously, as everybody knows, the film was just one of the best films I've seen for a while.
If you don't count the dialogue.
Yeah, and when we all saw the demos of the game running, again, I thought it looked fantastic, but hasn't it come out that the game isn't actually that good?
I think so. Like I said, it's a shame that Dorkfish isn't with us this week, because I know he actually has the game, and he could tell us.
Oh, right, yeah. But yeah, I think they all said the best thing about the game was when they change, when they transform, and that's it. And that's about all the game offers. It's a shame, because it did look very, very good when I first saw it.
Yeah, shame there wasn't... has there been a demo for Transformers the game and I've missed it, or hasn't there been one?
No, I don't think there has been a demo on the 360 marketplace. I've not seen one anywhere. I thought there would have been.
It's interesting. And another interesting note that I'm looking at, again, looking at the top 10 here for the UK charts, 5 out of the top 10 are Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
More to come on that later. Oh, and I think if any of you out there are looking for a PS3 title, the highest one in our charts is Resistance Fall of Man at number 12.
Which I'm afraid just goes on to add what everybody still thinks about the PS3. Too expensive for a big giant box that's got very few games out.
And looks distinctively like a George Foreman.
Yeah, it does.
Right. Alright, that's the UK top 10. That's hopefully a new feature that we're sticking around. Like I said, we'll be having some more features over time and some news for you coming later. Alright, on to our main news. And here's an interesting piece for you. Those of you wanting to play the Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock demo, well, you're going to have to buy Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. So, Toz, my man, what do you think to this? You know, is this a way of shifting Proving Ground?
Well, actually, that's not quite true. It is true, but it's not as bad as your first painting, because when I first heard the news, I was climbing the roof, as everybody knows, Guitar Hero crazy. Apparently, it is being shipped with Proving Ground, but it's being shipped on October the 9th, I've heard, and the demo is going on Xbox Marketplace only 5 days later, so it's not that much of a exciting announcement. Bit silly, I thought. Good idea to bring the demos out. I mean, we all know that Tony Hawk's is now up against Skate, which, changing the subject slightly, that is on the marketplace this week, and it was actually quite good for a skateboarding game, because I did test that genre. But yeah, I've heard that they're going to bring it out on the Tony Hawk's on the 9th of October, but I'm afraid it's coming on the marketplace 5 days later, which seems a little bit not long to wait for it.
And those of you interested, there'll be 5 songs featured in the demo. The songs are Laid Down by Priestess. Sorry guys, never heard of that. Even Flow by Pearl Jam. Lovely. The Metal by Tenacious D. Hit Me With Your Best Shot, as made famous by Pat Benatar.
That will be a good one.
And then the last one is my personal favourite, a really good old classic rock song by the Scorpions, Rock You Like a Hurricane.
I think it's going to be a cracking little demo, I do. I think it's going to get absolutely hammered on the day of release.
The only trouble is for guys like me who don't have Guitar Hero 2 and still can download the demo.
Still cannot believe... You can play it with a pad, you do know that, don't you?
Yeah, but it's meant to be an absolute bugger.
Well, my 9-year-old daughter and myself 3 days ago got our achievement together put 100% on a song, A using the controller and me using the guitar, and we got it on Teenagers, one of the new downloadable content that I got my daughter for a gift, as we all know. But yeah, we 100% it. So yeah, it is a bit finicky with a controller, but for all you out there that hasn't got a guitar, still worth trying, because it's not that bad, not that hard.
Right, that's it. Guitar Hero 2 is banned from this show.
Can't wait.
And of course that's never going to work, as you all know Toz, but at least he's been quiet about the darkness. Alright, our next news story. Alright, this is for Europe. Well, not that I think many people over here are going to care that much. Maybe I'm wrong. Halo 3 Special Edition Xbox 360 console. The price and the date of release have now been announced. The limited edition 360 will be released from the 26th of September, costing you $279.99. The Halo 3 Special Edition console will include a Halo 3 Special Edition wireless controller, a Halo 3 Special Edition Halo 3 Special Edition 20GB hard drive, a Special Edition wireless headset, Halo 3 Special Edition Gamer Picks and Theme exclusive download via Xbox Live, a component HD AV cable, Ethernet cable, HDMI port, play and charge kit, which is, I believe, new, and Xbox Live Silver subscription. Why this is added into this press release, I don't know, because everyone gets that, and 1 month of Xbox Live Gold membership. Oh joy.
Well, I'm basically, people are paying an extra £30 nearly for basically a glorified paint job. I mean, I can't understand this. So I mean, there's no game in the pack, is there? How can they release a Halo 3 Special Edition console and not put the game in the box? That to me is one amazing thing. But then, like you say, you've just said all that, and it is, you're paying £30 for a glorified paint job.
Well, exactly. I mean, the only thing that I think is new in that entire list of what you obviously don't get with a premium is the HDMI port and a play and charge kit.
But the premiums are now being released with HDMI, as we know.
Yes, I'm not sure if they've made it open to our shores as of yet.
No, they probably won't have yet. No, but they've got to be coming, haven't they? If they've been released in America, I mean, I bet they're going mad over there. Anybody that's bought an Elite. But anyway, back to this. Yeah, again, it's Microsoft. I think we mentioned this last week. Why, oh why, do they keep bringing a new machine out? They're going to bring one out when Mass Effect comes out. You know, are they going to bring one out when Guitar Hero 3 comes out? It just seems that they just can't wait to bring a console out, and it's about time. They stopped it. They stopped the Core Edition. They went premium. They went one box, one machine that you can get home. You've got every connection in the box that the everyday man can plug in his TV, and away we go. The everyday man in the street can go out now and buy an Xbox and not have a clue what to do. And it's wrong. You're actually making yourself probably sell less boxes, because if people go into shops that aren't clued up on the gaming scene and buying it for a son or a husband or whatever, and they look at the sales assistant and they reel all these, there's the Core, there's the Premium, there's the Halo, there's this, they'll look at and say, well, it's wrong, it needs sorting out. And for Microsoft being such a big worldwide company to be making such a mess of this, I find amazing.
It is Microsoft after all. And let's face it, it is one of the most hideous paint jobs as well.
It's horrible. Horrible box. I could understand if it were nice, but it's not. It's horrible.
Alright folks, here's a tip from Kid Dog. Get your phone book, open it up and look for airbrush artists, and take your 360 down to one of them and have a custom paint job done. That way you get something unique and not costing you the earth.
There are some nice ones of them on the web. If you look as well, some people have made some great paint jobs on the Xbox, and the Xbox case isn't that too difficult to get dismantled, so it's quite possible.
Just bear in mind, dismantling your Xbox case does void your warranty, so...
Yes, so it's not recommended.
Unless you have a broken one like I have, which I may have done some interesting work with, but we'll not talk about that here, just in case that gets me in any trouble. Alright, Toz, what else have you got to tell us this week then?
Yeah, a bit of a long drawn out news story here, but it will probably interest people. The fantastic Ace Combat 6 that's due for release shortly have just announced their multiplayer modes for the game. As I say, a bit long-winded, but stick with it because there are some great modes on here. We start off with Battle Royale, which basically goes on to say, dodge missiles, blast your opponents and hit the throttle in this frenetic free-for-all battle. Up to 16 players can participate in Battle Royale mode, with the pilot with the highest score at the end taking first place. The next one is Team Battle. Put your teamwork to the test as you try out to outmaneuver and outshoot your opposing squadrons controlled by other players. Choose from the game's variety of authentic licensed aircraft to choose the perfect combination of speed, durability and firepower for your team. Up to 16 players in total can play as up to 2 different squadrons to see who rules the skies of this tactical game. The next one is Siege Battle. 2 teams of up to 4 players each take turns assaulting and defending a variety of land, sea and air-based targets. This is original online mode. The team that is able to divide and conquer, clearing the targets in the shortest amount of time, will become the winner. The usual co-op battle mode. Up to 4 players can compete against the computer-controlled enemies in a selection of cooperative missions. Use your teamwork, superior firework and your ferocious fighting spirit to dominate the skies and complete the mission as quickly as possible. And in addition to online play, Ace Combat Fires of Liberation supports a wide variety of downloadable content that they've said they're going to bring, which will let players customize their play experience and enjoy the game long after the single player mode. So yes, very good sounding online multiplayer for Air Combat 6. Just on a side note to Air Combat 6, I did find out in that news story, if people aren't aware, that up until BioShock demo last week, it was actually the largest, most downloadable content that's been on the Xbox so far, which may surprise some people. Yeah, not the largest size, the largest amount of downloads that's appeared on the marketplace. Ace Combat, I do apologise. Yeah, Ace Combat 6. But yeah, that's about it. The online mode looks really, really good. They say they're going to bring decent downloadable content, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game, I must say. It looks a pretty big sleeper to me. I think it'll surprise a few people. I think
that is definitely going to be a big hit. Yeah, again, Microsoft is spoiling its 360 owners for choice this well, when they run up to Christmas and everything. I do admit, when you say customise, I was hoping, wait, you're going to customise the planes? You know, custom paint jobs on your planes? That would be very cool. I was also going to say, I think a must for when playing Ace Combat 6 is the Top Gun soundtrack. A bit of Kenny Loggins and Danger Zone when you're playing the game.
And also forking out for the brilliant controller that they're going to bring out at the same time.
That is very tempting, actually, after playing the game. Very, very tempting.
It does. Again, I'll recommend to our listeners, if they've not yet tried, I know it would be something that you'd probably see in the marketplace downloads, and you'd probably say, well, no, I'm not interested. But believe me, go and download it. You will play it, and you will be astounded at what you see.
And you will be humming to yourself the Danger Zone theme. I went to the Danger Zone. Alright, to some news that we haven't gotten. It was brought to my attention earlier this week, with the release of BioShock, that there's a slight difference between the English limited edition and the American limited edition. Now, to our American listeners, you'll know that the limited edition BioShock comes with the soundtrack and a Big Daddy figure.
I want one. I've been trying to get one and can't find one, but
now,
carry on.
This is your problem here, Toz. That is the American limited edition. Soundtrack, Big Daddy figure. Yep. The English limited edition is a steel case, a tin case. That's it. No soundtrack, no Big Daddy figure.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding.
Well, I'm going to say something. I've actually got BioShock here at the side of me, or in my hand, and the actual basic release game comes in like a tin-like cover. It's not a normal cover. It's not your normal plastic cover. It is a tin-like cover. If anybody's ever got the... I can't remember the name now. It's going to escape me. No, I'm not going to remember it. But anyway, it's a tin cover. You open it up. It feels tin. Feels very heavy. But what you've just described to me sounds like what I've got here, and all that's got is the game in the box.
That must be the limited edition, because you might have been thinking maybe of the Perfect Dark limited edition or the
Splinter Cell limited
Cell.
edition has got the exact same box. I do know, because I've had it myself the past month, and yeah, I've got it in front of me. It's basically got a manual, and that's it. And it does look like a tin on the outside. I mean, I bet you can hear that. I know that's not going to do any good, but yeah, if that is our classed as our limited edition thing, I'm astounded, because one, I desperately wanted one of them Big Daddies, and I flatly refused to go onto eBay and be ripped off. But I'm astounded. But then again, nothing astounds me on us getting releases to do with gaming. You know my feelings on it. We get left in the dark.
So yet again for Europe, pants down and bend over, I think.
Just on a side note to BioShock, our listeners may be aware, but we'll put it in just in case they don't. They are having problems with the widescreen. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Yes, that they've been cropping the widescreen.
Yes, it's cropped top and bottom apparently when you use widescreen mode. They are aware of it. They are trying to fix it, and there probably will be a bug, a release to fix it very shortly. But they are aware of it. Apparently, it is chopping the top and bottom off quite considerably.
That's just bad Q&A, I think, on their part.
Yeah. Not to let that get through. It is a bit bad, because it's not a small mistake either.
Q&A is definitely something we may end up discussing in future shows. Alright, before we move on, there's one more story, and this was brought to my attention by my best friend. He's just recently been thinking about, believe it or not, folks, thinking about buying a PS3.
Ooh.
Now this is where it gets interesting. As you know, backwards compatibility. No,
yep,
he went on Sony's website to check this. Now, I did not know this. The European release of the PS3 does not have, is it the emotion chip from the PS2 in it?
No, we've got none of it. That was broken. The news of that was broke. Basically, I think it was approximately 7 days before the release date of PS3s in the UK and Europe. Basically, USA versions of the PS3 have got all the backwards compatibility and emotion chips, or I will say they did have.
That's where I was going, my friend.
Sorry, yeah, carry on then, I'll let you go.
Well... But
yeah, ARM was taken out 7 days before.
Yes, and I'd just like to say he had a pile of games, and they were not... It wasn't a small pile, my friend has a lot of games, and the games in there were stuff like Final Fantasy X-2, Metal Gear Solid 3... the Wipeout game that were not going to work.
It's appalling. I thought it at the time, and I still think to this day. I think it's appalling that they do not do proper backwards compatibility for the PS3. I think it's wrong. It's horribly wrong.
And as Toz was alluding to earlier, and now I'm going to tell you, the new release of the PS3 in America, is it with the 80 gig hard drive, Toz?
Yeah, that's the one that they went on the silly mistake of telling everybody the $100 off was all a con, as we all know it was, to get rid of the old ones to bring this new 80 gig one out.
Well, the 80 gig one in America also does not have the emotion chip, so those won't be backwards compatible either.
I've heard that. I heard that last week actually, that a few of the American friends that have said that they can't believe they've done it. I mean, Sony again. I mean, how on earth are they expecting to grab back the market that they're doing, moving hand over fist to just kill themselves in the water? It's one thing after another. It's the price, it's game releases, and now this. It was the backwards compatibility for Europe. They now scrap it for US. I just cannot understand what they're playing at.
The only guess is that they've probably decided, we're so far into the release life of the PS3, we don't need to do backwards compatible, which is wrong, because I have a PS2. And I am still playing Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 on it.
If you go and track and find the figures, and I'm sure we probably will do one week, we might do this on a show. If you actually track the NDA figures, PS2 is outselling the PS3 in software a hell of a lot. The PS2 is still a very ongoing, viable gaming machine for sales figures for games. Now, if I am Sony, and I want my loyal Sony PS2 owners, to which there's a damn lot of, as we well know, Now, I'm guessing that a lot of them really are wanting to think, oh, let me step up to the PS3. And like your friend, I mean, has he been and bought one? I'm guessing he's not, because I
Not
definitely
yet.
wouldn't.
That's
No, and
it's put the issue up in the air at the minute.
I wouldn't even done it. And I'll tell you what, and I know this is going to sound horribly biased, and I apologise, and it's not meant to be, but I'm going to put it on the other paw. We talked about it last week about Microsoft's price reductions. All right, I actually think that there wasn't very much. There was appalling. The hard drive price, to me, is a joke. I cannot believe they're even attempting to try and sell them. But I know my nephew yesterday actually bought a pack. If anybody of our listeners are interested, Woolworths have just started with the packs for BioShock. For a 360 premium pack with a copy of BioShock is now selling for £250. Now, in anybody's eyes, that is a cracking deal, and I actually told him straight away, yeah, you can't turn that down. And put that along with Sony keep doing these things to just hang themselves, and I just cannot work out why. I mean, I think I would honestly, hand on heart, I would like a PS3. Purely, if for nothing else, with the Blu-ray, to start getting to the Blu-ray market. But at the minute, I know, as a working class father of a young family, there is no way on this earth I could even dream of telling my wife I'm buying a PS3. She'd think I'd gone crazy. And it's purely price again. And they keep doing things again and again, and just, well, when is it going to stop? When are they going to try and get some, gamers to buy the machine?
That is a very, very good question, and unfortunately, no sign of a decent answer coming anytime soon.
Right, the FIFA Soccer, FIFA 08, if people are interested, they've come out and basically said, the EA have said, they are attempting an amazing, in my opinion, attempt at online play, where they're going to try and get, it's called Be a Pro. Online team play is the evolution of a new model featured in FIFA 08 called Be a Pro, that is basically going to get you online and lock you into a single football player on the pitch. None of this playing at one team against one team. And apparently the dream is to get a full 11-a-side, where each individual player online is in control of just one sole football player. I mean, at the minute, they're going to roll out a 5-on-5 apparently, where they can get 5 on one side, 5 on another, but you only are solely in charge of one player. Now, there was a game way back, and I think it was on the Dreamcast, that did attempt this with just a single player game.
Yes, I think I can remember it as well. I can't remember.
Can you remember?
I can't remember the name.
Can't remember the title. Yeah, and I actually bought it, and I absolutely loved it. And it got panned in the Gaming Press to be an absolute nightmare. But it was where you was an individual player, so you basically played like you was really playing football. I mean, me for one, when I heard this news, I think it's a great. It could work. It could make online football games, take off in a big way. I like the idea. I hope it works for them. 11 against 11 aside, where you are just one player, would be an awesome experience online. And even though I'm an absolute diehard football fan, I actually don't own any computer game football games because I don't like them. I never have done. I can never get into them. Never played them. I played demos. I've had the odd game. Wasn't long since I had FIFA 07, but I just cannot get into them. But this news from EA, 5-on-5 individual play, Be a Pro, sounds fantastic to me, and I hope it works.
EA look like they're trying to make us eat our words when we're accusing them of not being creative anymore. So
yeah, I mean, who would have thought it? EA trying to
show the initiative.
Soccer, and get soccer working.
Saying that word.
Who knows?
I refuse to say that word.
It might work though. But EA, good attempt. I hope it works for them.
Yeah, interesting. 11 aside could be fun unless you're the poor sod who stuck last and picked to be the goalkeeper.
I was going to say they might have to make it 10 aside. That had crossed my mind. The goalkeeper. I mean, who is going to want it? But then again, I suppose the goalkeeper's going to get plenty of action. I wouldn't think.
Well, speaking as an ex-school goalkeeper, I quite like being the goalkeeper. But hey.
Me too. I was a school goalkeeper.
All right there. Oh, before we head on into the topic, I just remembered I noticed that this had arrived on our marketplace today. Medal of Honor Airborne. I know Toz has been downloading it and hasn't had the chance to play it, and I have had the chance.
Mine has downloads. Yeah, my download's just finished, so I should be playing it right after the show.
Yeah, well, I've had the chance to play it before the show, and as you know...
First impressions?
I was just about to say, as you know, last week we had DC O'Cotter on from the Digital Combat radio show, and they were talking on the latest roundtable about someone from, I think it was Uncle Gamer, saying that they didn't think Medal of Honor was going to be a flop and wasn't going to sell more than Shadowrun.
Yeah, surprised me. I love their podcast. If you do listen, guys, it's a great podcast, and I'm listening to this with great interest because I'm actually sticking up for them. I actually do think it'll sell a lot of copies.
And
I haven't played it yet, so.
Well, my first impressions after playing it is it's going to sell more than Shadowrun. There's some stuff that's not too great, but then again, it's a demo, so it's hard to judge. But parachuting in and landing. Not anywhere on the map, but quite an open map, landing on rooftops and stuff. I did enjoy that, and it did make it quite fun because I managed to actually parachute. My first go, I parachuted in next to one of the objectives. Not advisable because I got the hell shot out of me.
Yeah.
But
is it? Can I just ask? Is it multiplayer demo or is it just
single player?
Oh, that's a shame because I've actually seen on GameTrailers.com full 4 or 5 videos where they was doing taking you through it, the test, and they showed the single player, and they showed the parachuting in and showed you the objectives. I love the way they've actually tried to change the way that you play them kind of games, and I quite like that. It immediately caught my eye, and that's why the Uncle Gamer bet where they're betting on it not selling at Shadowrun. I was amazed because I'd actually watched the video of all these videos the day before, and when the guy called it out, sorry not for remembering your name, I'll remember next week. But yeah, I thought immediately that game is going to sell well. Now, whether it's not going to sell well because of Halo 3, I think that's what their argument started it all about, where Halo is going to take over the world, and I still say it won't. One person here is not buying Halo 3 for a start.
2 people.
But anyway, yeah, different. That's another story for another day, I think. It's going to be one of our main topics later. But yeah, I think it looked good. Medal of Honor looked good. I congratulated him for being different, for trying something new. Yes, it's World War II. We know we all hate World War II, but at least they've grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and tried something different. The parachuting looks great, and the online multiplayer mode, if none of you have seen it yet, go and check it out on GameTrailers.com. It looks really good, and I'll be very surprised if it don't outsell Shadowrun. And I think they mentioned 750,000 copies in the bet as well. And I will stand by that and agree. I think it will sell that many.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think Medal of Honor Airborne is going to do quite well. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise. Alright, it may not look as great graphically as Halo 3 or as Call of Duty 4, but it's definitely a good game, and I think online multiplayer is going to make that game a hell of a lot of fun, being able to parachute drop. That's going to be a lot of fun, especially because I do know, thanks to Achievement Junkies, that there is an achievement for shooting someone out the skies when they are parachute dropping, so that's going to be fun.
I have seen that in action. It looks great fun. Popping them while they're coming down, it was great.
So, yeah.
Yeah, just going to add while we're talking about demos, I actually downloaded a demo last night that would have actually interested Dork if it had been on. I actually downloaded the Mideon demo last night. I would actually like, again, to congratulate them on such a great demo. You know my feelings on demos. You are trying to make me buy your game. If you give me a 2-minute demo that is appalling or no good, you've wasted my time, you've wasted your time, you've wasted bandwidth. Just congratulate them here that the Mideon demo was a very big, long demo. I think I got through 15-20 minutes of full gameplay, and I've got to say, it looks great, and I actually enjoyed it. Lost in overtime to a travesty interception, but I enjoyed it, loved it, and I am actually going to go back and give that another go this weekend. It's worth a download, guys. Try it. You will not be disappointed.
What's going on here, Toz? We're talking about EA here, and we're giving praise to FIFA having an initiative with FIFA, with Medal of Honor. Alright, it's not in-house. Or is it in-house?
I don't know.
But it is published by EA. And Mideon. Yeah. They are making us eat our words about them not being just doing the same old, aren't they?
Yeah, we said that in a few shows back, but it is good that they're trying new things, and I'll give anybody dues that tries it. And with the Medal of Honor thing, you can see, I mean, they've got the NHL with the fantastic AI now, apparently. They've got the Madden with the 60 frames per second. They've got Medal of Honor with this fantastic parachuting. They've got the FIFA with this new pro job. It looks like they're actually trying new things, and that's great. Hands up. Whether they work, we've all got to wait and see, but at least they're trying it. That's what I love to see.
Alright, that's it for the news. Let's move on to our main discussion this week, which is about, well, it's our old friends Nintendo and the Wii again. So Toz, why don't you take us through this topic you've suggested today?
Yeah, basically then, for the first time, we knew it was coming. It didn't surprise me at the time. A few points probably will surprise a few of our listeners, but basically it's happened this week. The Nintendo Wii and Nintendo themselves have finally taken over the market. They are now the best seller of all the consoles that's out there. And in fact, if you want to put the Wii with the DS, which obviously is Nintendo's main part, yep, they actually outsell both of their other competitors completely. I will run through a few points this week that came out from this story, where basically Nintendo remained the top US game publisher for the 6th consecutive month on the trot. So far this year, Nintendo's titles are claiming 6 of the industry's top 10 best sellers, including the top 3, as we've mentioned in our charts, Pokemon Diamond, which was number 1. For Nintendo Pokemon Pearl for Nintendo DS, and Wii Play, it comes in at number 2 for the Wii. Nintendo DS with more than 300 titles available, has the largest game library available for any system that's out there today. The Wii, this one surprised me, has added new titles, averaging 9 per month since launch. Now, that does actually surprise me a great deal. I got rid of my Wii because I couldn't find any games to play. So 9 per month, I find that hard to believe, but that's what it says.
And Toss, you're suffering there from premature Wii-relation. There.
Do you think so? Yeah, I mean, it says here, averaging 9 per month since launch at a faster rate than any other new home system. It is impressive, but do you think they are doing 9 a month and are outselling the others? Well, I don't know. Anyway, to move on, including an ever-increasing library of classic titles available for download on the Wii Shop channel, which is another sore point for me, because they're overcharging an amazing amount for them, but people still keep buying them. So listeners, if you keep buying, they'll keep selling. American owners of the DS and Wii will have a combined selection of nearly 800 games to choose from by this year's end. That's an impressive number. And Nintendo expects momentum for both systems to continue, given this week August 20th launch of Brain Age 2 for the DS and the up-and-coming August 27th launch, and this is a biggie, of the hugely anticipated Metroid Prime Corruption for the Wii, which finally they are getting one of the big ones out there. So yeah, Nintendo are taking over the world, but at the end of all that, I still don't regret getting rid of my Wii and getting a 360, because I'd miss out on the games such as BioShock, and given my choice of what I used to play on the Wii, Wii Tennis, Wii Play, and playing BioShock, it wins hands down, but that's my personal view. But yeah, Nintendo, flying high.
What is it this week with the games companies coming back to bite me in the backside? That's right, folks. We've had EA being revolutionary and, inventing new stuff. Now the Wii's proving me wrong about they're just a fad. They seem to be coming back and biting me this time around.
I still agree, though, that I would honestly say this, and I'll stand by it. I still say they are where they are today purely on price point alone, and for simplicity of the console. We moved on earlier on the price of the PS3. We know why that doesn't sell. Microsoft are finally starting to lower the prices, but in my opinion, to get to the average man in the street, they have got to get their SKUs down to 1. You cannot sell 4 or 5 different boxes. The average person hasn't got a clue what you're selling or what they're buying. Where the Nintendo Wii, nice low price, simple box, get it home, plug it in and have some great fun. That is my opinion why they're selling. I still don't see the great games for it. and I've still seen nothing that will make me go out and buy one, and that does include Metroid and Mario. It just doesn't interest me no more. Sad to say, but I just get that feeling.
Again, it seems we're going to be having the same old conversation about the Wii of where's our games, where's our hardcore games, but it's still impressive. I will give them that. But price point does help.
You cannot argue the fact, but I've got to say it's got to be because of the price. They undercut everybody. I mean, it is fun. Let's all admit we've all had our hands on it. We've all played it, and it's great fun. I see it as a party machine. Christmas Day, great fun. Let's get the Wii out. You're not going to play BioShock and Gears with Grandma on Boxing Day, are you? But you might.
Depends how funky your grandma is.
Well, true. There might be apologies out there for any grandmas that do play Gears, but yeah. Boxing Day, it will be get out the Wii. It won't be get out Gears, will it? But good luck to them. They are doing well.
Actually, I'd like to say on a side note, as listeners have heard before on the show, that we have complained about the backwards compatibility for the Xbox, and you've never heard us moan about the backwards compatibility for the Wii for one simple reason. The fact is, the hardware is actually in the Wii console. You just stick your disc in.
As the old famous joke, isn't it? It's two cubes stick together, but that's a horrible joke. But at least the backwards compatibility is spot on.
Exactly. If you can play any old Nintendo GameCube game on your Wii. Sadly to say, you can't do the same for the PS3 or the Xbox 360.
No. Which to me is a massive selling point, as I've mentioned earlier. Gamers stay loyal. It's a well-known fact that they do stay loyal. And when I got a Nintendo, I wanted to buy the N64, which I did on day of release. I then wanted to buy the Wii on day of release, and I've done it all through my life, as I did with the Sony's products. Now, when you start alienating your public, like Sony have done, and Microsoft in a slight fashion with no backwards compatibility, people have got long memories. They've also got big game lists, and if they're sat at home with a lot of your titles, and you're bringing a new machine out where I can't play my old titles, I'm sorry, you're cutting your own throat straight away. Backwards compatibility to me is a massive point in a new machine. Should always be included. And I think Sony again have made a mess of what we've said, but well done Nintendo for sticking with the backwards. It's a good plan and works.
Yes, I think we're going to have to applaud Nintendo for, quite frankly, pulling off quite a major coup, because no one thought they could do it against Sony and Microsoft, who two giant companies. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes the Nintendo Wii.
Do you think, though, seriously, do you think they'll keep it up? How long do you think it will last? Because let's be honest as well, there are still reports where they're not selling them. How can they get these figures that are being released saying that they are selling all the other machines when it's still being reported that they can't get the Wiis out there? Are they falling on the back of the DS sales, or...?
It's hard to say, because, the DS is a fantastic handheld unit. I've played both the DS and the PSP. Yes, the PSP looks fantastic, but the DS has got the more fun games.
The DS, I had a PSP when it first came out again on day release. Like I say, I like to buy my consoles on day release. Only the Xbox and the PS3 are the two consoles in my history I've never bought on day release, purely because of cost, and that was subject's been brought up many times, but it's a sheer fact. I'm here as one person that can purely say without a fact that I did not buy them two consoles on day release purely because they were too expensive. As where I did buy a Nintendo Wii on day release because of the cost. And I think these companies have really got to take note that people in the street do look at cost. They don't look at what's under the box or under the bonnet as such. Cost is a massive point, and it needs to be looked at.
I think, from the Cranky Gamers UK, I think we're going to have to applaud Nintendo, really. My God, did I just say that?
Well, yeah, let's see if they keep it up, though, is my opinion.
Good work, Nintendo. Let's see if you can keep it up. The fact I'm most impressed with in there is the fact that Nintendo remained the US game publisher, top US game publisher for the 6 months consecutively. Now, that is a hard feat to pull off.
It is, but I really do believe the DS has got a massive part to play in that.
Indeed. Well, we'll have to see how it goes for the next couple of months when we're having the release of Halo 3, yay, Call of Duty 4, Mass Effect. There's some big games coming out, there's some heavy hitters coming out.
I think the BioShock this week will probably put Microsoft back on top. I really do.
Well, listeners, we'll keep you apprised of that. we'll see how the console war's going. Alright, is there anything else you want to mention on this, Toz, or are we...
No, I think we've about wrapped up with all the news we've done. It's been a very news week because we're our new contacts, but yeah, I think that's about all the news we can muster.
We are all newsed out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, moving on. Well, we've got a couple of shout-outs this week. I want to give a shout-out for... Oh, great, this is going to be a good one. Spartan7653263 for leaving us an iTunes review, so thank you very much. It wasn't a 5-star one, but we'll take 4 stars as well. We don't want to appear greedy, do we, Toz?
No, that's great. Great news. Thanks for all reviews. Would welcome any reviews on iTunes, whether they be good or be bad.
Okay, I also want to give a very big shout out and a very big thank you to Nelson from Achievement Junkies for pointing us in the way of a couple of contacts, and it's been very useful, as you know. You may have noticed the news. We've had a bit of more interesting news this week, so thank you very much, Nelson.
Yep, thank you for that. Great contacts, appreciated.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, and this is a very special shout out to a friend of mine, Zoid. I want to thank him very much because this month my Xbox Live ran out. And unfortunately, I'm not in a position right now where I can financially afford to buy another 12 months. And quite kindly, he had a month card lying around and let me have it. So I've got Xbox Live for another month. So I want to say thank you very much, Zoid. I do appreciate it. So, cheers, Zoid.
Yep, that's very good.
All right, as you heard me say at the start of the show, that there's going to be some new features coming into the show, and there's going to have some new announcements. Hopefully, in a few weeks, we'll have a website up. It's not going to be huge or anything, but there will be a website where you can visit us and leave us comments and messages of support, or just flame us if you want to. It's okay, we can take it. We're big enough. We've also managed to make some contacts in the press, so we can bring you more up-to-date news, which is fantastic. This came from Nelson from Achievement Junkies, so that's why he got a shout-out this week. As you know, we've been having a lot of guests on recently, but we're going to try and limit the guests now to every couple of episodes. So the main voices you'll be hearing on the show is just me and our chief crank, Mr. Toz.
Yay.
And hopefully Dorkfish when he can get his microphone working and we don't have any more technical difficulties. Okay, Toz, is there anything else you want to say, or...?
I think that's an early wrap then, I think, this week. I think we've covered a lot of news. It's been a great show. It's looking good with all the good contacts we've got, and I think it's going to get better.
Yes, and possibly there may be even some new intro and outro music coming soon. I haven't decided on that yet. I've got to have a play around with it, but yeah, we might have some new intro music as well. All right, great. Well, I want to thank Toz, my co-host, Chief Crank as he is, for coming on the show.
Thank you. We shall be back next week, no doubt. It's been a great show again, and thanks to all our listeners. Reviews anytime you want, or moans, or whatever you want. But yeah, it's been a great show, and we'll see you next week.
Any questions or comments, you can email us at thecrankygamersuk@gmail.com. You can send us messages of support, or you can tell us how badly we sucked. Hopefully we haven't sucked that badly, so we should be okay on that one. Alright, this is your host, Kid Dog, saying, until next week, stay cranky.
And me, Toz. Bye till next week.
The Cranky Gamers have left the building.